Hey folks, I'm LA Little with TA Today, and I want to bring you a simple question. Something's on everybody's mind, and that is this market going to crash? And let's try to answer that. Let's do it with TA, pure, simple TA, technical analysis, using neoclassical methods, things that I've created for myself 15 years ago, have used ever since, and many others use as well. I'm an author, professional trader, advisor to hedge funds, and I try to help the little guy, and that's what these videos are about. If you like what I do, please hit the subscribe button. Let others know, share the video with one or two folks, and hopefully find this thing useful. I appreciate comments below. Have a discussion, ask questions. I'm all ears, right? Okay. Let's try to answer the question, is this a crash? And to do that, let's take and look at just one chart. We'll look at the S&P 500. So here's the S&P 500. The first thing I want to call to your attention is ABCD structures, right? And this is what my new book is about, ABCD structures. If you take and look at it, what do you have? You have long-term structures that are in place that are active, right? Their status is active. They're either suspect or confirmed, and they're working higher, and they've got targets out there much higher, okay, from where we are. So that says that contrary to what everybody's telling you about a crash, and a crash to me is where you come off the top 40-50%, right? And that is a crash. Well, we don't have a crash yet, but we have some damage, right? But another thing that you have to get a crash is you have to break a swing point low on the monthly time frame. Are we going to do that? Well, it's possible. We tested it, and we're going to have more volume, which means that we could test it again. At the same time, we haven't broken it, and that's a necessary, though it's not a sufficient condition for a crash. You got to get multiple swing point breaks on multiple time frames. Well, you definitely got multiple swing point breaks here, but you don't have it over here yet. And so, is this a crash situation? Potentially longer term. Right now, I don't think so. Now let me expand on that further why I think that. So that's the monthly chart. If you look here at the weekly chart, the thing that you want to focus on is this bar, this one here. Why that bar? Well, because that is a swing point low that was broken right there. And that puts it into play as a bearish retest regen. The top of the bar is here, and you can see that's where the resistance has shown up, right? That's where they're going to try and sell it. And as they came back up, that's what they did, is they sold it and they closed it underneath that resistance zone. So can we get over that is the real question, and I would like to see this market get over it within the next week or two. In other words, this week or next. Why? Well, because if you get over it, that says what was down is no longer down. It's probably sideways, or it's going to be probably going back the other way. And so you want to see this fail. You don't want to see it get up here unable to get over it and then regenerate lower. And that would probably be a week or two, maybe 3 weeks outside. Why do I think that's not going to happen? That it's not going to regenerate. Well, if I look at the daily chart, there's evidence here that this market is being bought at these lows. You're getting extended on your MTTFs. MTTFs are mean time to failure of the trend, cumulative. When you get up into the 70-80% range, more than likely you're going to reset. How do you reset? You have to break a swing point high. That would say this bearish retest regen is going to fail. You're going to work your way up here, break that, right? Which is going to do what? It's going to get you over that bearish retest regen we were just talking about on the weekly. And that's going to close this market higher, right? And say that what was down is sideways, potentially going the other way. That's the setup. They're buying this. There's all this bad news, and what are they doing? They're putting in higher lows on a daily basis, and now you get a long tail yesterday. I'm recording this on April 11th. And so, this to me is not a crash. This to me is a market trying to set up to get out and take out that bearish retest region. If it does that, you have to worry about your crashes when you get up here, not down here. That's where this market is right now. Hopefully you find that useful. Tell others if you do. I appreciate it. Take care.